Good morning. I am joined by Stuart, who owns the chocolate shop in the Lake District, the Blind Chocolatier, with his self-confessed tagline, handmade in the Lake District. Good morning, Stuart. Thank you so much for joining us. So you are a chocolatier by trade. Could you please start with telling us a little bit about you as a person?
Okay, yeah, so I'm Stuart. Growing up in the Lake District, my grandparents and uncle had a pub, so I've always been sort of interested in catering. With my eye problems, it only really affected me when I was 25. So I could drive and do everything, but it turned out I had a rare eye condition, which is Leber's optic hereditary neuropathy, LOHN. Basically affects the optic nerve, and I didn't realize I had it. Didn't know, none in my family knew I had it, so it took over a year to actually get the diagnosis because the hospital sent the bloods in all the wrong places. But when I was still chefing, I knew I had sight problems, so I went for an optician's appointment, and then they referred me. And then at the time, they put me on like not the sort of like sick leave till it was sorted out, and then eventually I went back as like the storeman at the hotel I was working at. But then I went back to doing pastry because no one could do it as well. With the right help and the right adaptations, I could do it better than some of the people that were doing it that could see. But from then I decided that I want to have my own chocolate business, and I told enough people I was going to do it, so I thought I should probably do it. And I've always liked doing stuff with chocolate, and I thought there's a bit of a gap in the market around here for nicer looking, colourful chocolates.
No, that's brilliant. And was it you said about pastry and you were chefing before? What was it about chocolate that you wanted to pursue a career in as such?
I think it's just because there's all sorts of different things you can do. Like I got different type of chocolate bars I do. Is lots of different flavors that you can put with it. I've got a little display area in the shop. At the moment, it's got some Valentine's and Easter stuff in, but I've made satin out of chocolate and had it hanging on a bit of fishing wire, so it's sort of actually dangling. There's all sorts of different things you can do with chocolate. Easter's always a really fun one because you've got more space to do the painting and the colours. But I've always just sort of liked doing. I've always been a pastry chef and liked doing stuff with chocolate. So I just sort of saw a bit of a gap in the market of nicer looking chocolates, and obviously they still taste good because that's why the customers come back.
Absolutely. And do you have a team behind you, Stuart? Is it just you? How many of you are there?
So there's not a team as such, but I've got quite a few friends and family that help me. Because one of the things I struggle with is like writing all the menu cards or the price board. But to be fair, I wasn't very good at writing when I could see, so I've not really lost much. But yeah, it's mainly one of the biggest things that I've got to get over is deliveries. Quite a lot of them are local, so either they pick them up or I can drop them off. But if they're further away, they get posted out anyway. But that's sort of one of the things that being blind affects with, because obviously if I could drive, I could just drop them off and probably supply more people. But eventually I'll get a member of staff, so I'll have to buy a van that I'm not allowed to drive, but it's for the business, so it'll be worth it.
Oh, that's great to hear that it's essentially a one-man band with your support network, which is brilliant. Where does your inspiration come from for your designs? I've had a look on your website and you've got some amazing creations. So where do you get the inspiration for those?
Some things are just like different colours and stuff. You see, like one of them, me and my friends go to watch drag racing like 2 or 3 times a year, and there was a pearlescent black, and the actual colours called blood black pearl, so it was like a purpley like black, and that was just a colour that I've seen on a car, and I thought, oh, that'll look quite good in a chocolate. And like some things like Mother's Day and Easter, you just use, and like obviously Valentine's, you just use the colours that with them. But I don't really look at colour wheels or anything. I just put two colours together, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it's like you don't do it again. It's just like the flavours. I'm doing a new one which is rum and raisin, and that's because on one of the markets I was at, I was speaking to someone else who's got a stall, and I liked his rum and he's local, so that's going to be a new chocolate just because I've met someone while doing a market. So you can get sort of inspiration from anywhere, just little things you see. Like sometimes you just take a picture of something random and you can take bits from it, or you can. There's all sorts of different people on Instagram, and there's a chocolatier sort of Facebook and live chat that is run by a chocolatier. So like there's lots of different chocolatiers that speak to each other and say, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And you can just really try something. Like today, I'm making orange cinder toffee, and I've never made that before, but I've made orange chocolate and I've made cinder toffee, so I know it'll work. It's just doing different things.
Yeah, no, that sounds great, and I can imagine you've got quite a busy week coming up with Valentine's Day, and that is that a buzz for you in your shop?
Yeah, so it's not as busy as it used to be, especially with everyone wanting to save money. So this year I've not done anything special with Valentine's Day, but I've got a chocolate shop, so like pretty much anything can be the Valentine's gift. But the next busy one's Mother's Day and Easter.
Yeah, no, that's gosh, Easter's a massive one. And just to finish off, Stuart, do you have any advice for if there's a young person out there that is maybe considering going into maybe chefing, volunteering, for chocolatiering, even pastry chef sort of thing? Do you have any advice that you would give them to maybe give them that push to actually go and try it?
Yeah, so obviously it would depend on sort of what site the people have, because obviously I can see, but it's just like I've got to look closely at things. But these days there's lots of different apps and like technology, and like I use my iPad for all my recipes, so I can make them bigger and smaller, and it's easier to get online to do the ordering and stuff like that. So I think you can just only try it, and maybe like even if you wanted to, you could probably volunteer like somewhere just to get started. But I don't think like these days, I don't think anyone can like properly discriminate against you for like wanting to try, as long as you can do the job. But you're obviously never really going to know until you try. But I think there was a blind chef that went on MasterChef, so no, I think you just got to try it and see what happens. And I'm pretty sure if you're getting good at making cakes and stuff, none of your family are going to complain if you keep giving them cakes.
I'm sure you'll have a lot of guinea pigs to help you try them. Well, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Stuart, for joining us today.
No problem.